Now, as Wall Street tries to game who will end up the winners and the losers of the DeepSeek shakeout, our next guest says we can nearly definitively say this question has been answered. Boxio Aaron Levy is one of the biggest players in AI software, and he joins us now. Aaron, tell us, who are the winners?
Well, actually, I actually think there's very few losers. To be clear, I think what we're seeing is a continued march of progress for making AI models more and more efficient. And every time you make AI more efficient, you actually open up a dramatic increase in more use cases. So while obviously there's going to be some near-term questions around, how many GPUs do we need, how much infrastructure we need, I think if you zoom out and you say if AI became 5x more efficient or 10x more efficient, I'd argue that we'll have 100x more use cases in the next 5 to 10 years. So I think this is a win for developers. I think it's a win for anybody building at the application layer of AI. And I think it's a win for the long-term AI ecosystem to have a continued sort of deflationary effect of the cost of these models.
Right, and that's something that investors have really been looking for. Are these use cases, the monetization, if it's cheaper and more efficient, you'll get those. But Aaron, every phase has had its, if you don't want to call them losers, maybe the ones that were too early. I mean, Benioff talked about this. He said the pioneers are not the ones who end up being the victors. And I mean, a lot of the questions in markets have centered around NVIDIA and the picks and shovels. Yeah. Do you think that their thesis is still intact? And NVIDIA in particular?
You need a lot of picks and shovels to make any AI model work. DeepSeek will be a massive user of NVIDIA GPUs as it scales up, but this gives other infrastructure approaches also an opportunity to continue to optimize their approaches. I think the big win here, though, is if you imagine two scenarios, one scenario where AI is just insanely expensive and proprietary, another scenario where AI is cheap, plentiful, and even open source in many cases. The scenario in the latter category means there's a lot more value you can create on top of the AI layer. That's, I think, why you're seeing such a strong reaction on the software sector. Because it means that the economics will not only flow into the AI providers or AI infrastructure providers, but actually that application layer. So again, I think that it's a huge win for software, no question. But ultimately, I think we're going to continue to see major build-outs of these data centers. These data centers are going to need massive amounts of GPUs. The efficiency gains that DeepSeek created will quickly get replicated across the AI ecosystem. And again, those will be run in U.S. data centers and on U.S. infrastructure.
Aaron, it's interesting. Everyone's looking at the Chinese and DeepSeek and arguing, all right, necessity's the mother of invention. We've heard that a lot this week. And then they're going forward and saying if we had put more constraints on American innovators on energy or privacy or water, we too would have been more innovative and efficient. I wonder if you think that makes any sense.
Yeah, that might be an extreme sort of stance. I think, But I think what this shows is that you have a very dynamic ecosystem where different players, based on different constraints, will have new breakthroughs. And it's our opportunity now, as in the AI space, to go and leverage those breakthroughs. But yeah, I mean, ironically, this outcome is really one where the export controls on China that we placed probably accelerated their ability to have these breakthroughs. And actually even weirder, if you're in the AI space, then you're ultimately happy about those breakthroughs because now we can learn from them. So, so we actually accelerated China, but we did actually accelerate AI advancements that we all now benefit from.